Hey, whoop. Just had an enjoyable day. It's been shocking weather here. We're on the edge of a cyclone, um, and we're copping torrential rain 1 minute. It's hot, and then it suddenly drops 20 degrees, and it's freezing. I've literally had the air conditioner on to try to get rid of the humidity, and having the heater going at the same time because of the cold. Oh, God. It's a hard climate here. Had a great day. Well, thank God for the vinyl community. I'll tell you, it's gotten me through a bad day. I don't feel very well. Thoroughly enjoyed 45 RPM audio files get together with his friends today. It was wonderful. A really, really good one. And also I signed up to Lovell's channel through watching Michael's one of Michael's contests, and he mentioned David Sanborn, who I've always loved, though I don't have any of his solo releases. But I just wanted to mention one thing. There's an album that cries out for analog, perfection, the whole job. Anyone out there that watches this that has any influence over who decides what becomes available to be reissued in the ultimate format, please somebody put out the ultimate sound quality version of The Resurrection of Pig Boy Crabshaw by the Paul Butterfield Blues Band. Outrageously great album. David Sanborn just kills on that album. I mean, Mike Bloomfield had left the band. I mean, the mighty East West, which, we all boys my age in 67, 16, we just thrashed it. Mike Bloomfield was our god, He was so great. But he left, and Melvin Bishop, that is Pig Boy Crabshaw, by the way, they changed their style a bit with that. They went away from the strict Chicago blues into a more R&B sort of with a big horn section. Yeah, so excellent, brilliant album. And David Sanborn kills on that. So the other day, Michael in Dusseldorf was showing his Frank Zappa reissues. I'm not the world's biggest Frank Zappa fan by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm old school. I consider there are only 4 good Frank Zappa albums, and they're the first 4. And obviously, everyone. These are CD reissues. Please don't ring the police and have me arrested. The originals are long gone in the purge of the 90s. Like Stalin's purges of the 1930s. I think many people in my age bracket, in my case, it was because I had a horrendous gambling problem. That's the only reason. Anyway, I did manage to keep at least half my collection. So anyway, can't go wrong with this. Cannot go wrong with this. These sound great too, by the way. They really do. I'm not one of these people that says everything sounds better on vinyl. It's absolute load of rubbish. Most vinyl records sound like shit. Most CDs sound like shit. What can you say? It's just, as everyone with half a brain knows, if it's recorded well, it's going to sound good, whatever the format is. Let's not get silly about these things. But yes, when vinyl sounds great, like my, excellent plus original mono pressing of Sgt. Pepper's, and I played it to my nephew recently, his jaw dropped. It just sounds unbelievable. That can never, ever be improved upon, ever. Trust me. And I'm very, very lucky to have my original and in great nick. Plus, I put it to cassette. I'm a big fan of cassette. If you buy a good quality cassette and have a good quality cassette player. And because what I do is I record them and take them hot, make them hot. You know, I look, say with Pepper, for instance, A Day in the Life, the harsh string section in there where the whole orchestra is going nuts. When that's going up into the red, I take it up into the red on that because that's the most peaked part of the album. So I record it at that setting where it's peaking like into the red, bang, bang, bang. You don't notice it because it's so screeching all over the shop anyway. So, and when you play it back on the cassette, oh my God, it just gets extra oomph. You know, I'm a big fan of taping vinyl to cassette. I've always done that. And quite often it sounds better. Now, that's all everyone's ears. I have exceptionally good hearing, very, very good hearing for my age. And to me, you know, reproducing, you know, from vinyl, it's number one, it saves your vinyl. You're not wearing it out. Accidents won't happen, blah, blah. And you can play it and play it and play it on your cassette, you know, without caring if anything happens to it. That's just a word of advice out there. If you want to really, really preserve your great treasured vinyl, do it. Just get a really good cassette player and use the best quality cassettes. It works for me. I'm getting off track here, waffling away. Freak Out. Then this one, Mothers, the Absolutely Freak. God, we thrashed this album. Thrashed it back in '67. This was so funny, so on the ball, taking the absolute piss out of square Vietnam War era US and the hippie shit at the same time. Yeah. People go on about the 60s. The 60s are a fucking awful time, honest to God. Yeah, so Ryko, of course. The only thing I don't like about this is they've interfered with the track listing. I'm so used to it running through, but they've gone and stuck I think it's Why Don't You Do Me Right? Or no, it was A Big Leg Emma. I don't know, they stuck one song in here that was not on the original album, and it really pisses me off, but I don't know, I just skip it. But the thing is, this sounds great. Ryko, this was a Zappa Records. Plus, remember, in the 80s, he did a lot of mucking around with his recordings and re-recorded bass and drums over some. Be very, very careful when you buy early Zappa, his 60s stuff, because he fucked around with the tapes. These are great. I can't find anything wrong with any of these. This is Running It for the Money. Jeez, my eyes. That's the one thing I hate about CDs. You can't read the bloody things. This is, look, what can you say about Running It for the Money, huh? Great album cover. Great album. So funny. So on the mark. What the funny thing is with these two albums, Freak Out and Running It for the Money, I can't read this. I've got allergies. My eyes are all gummed up. But there were two songs. They're off, but these songs, the two songs I'm going to mention are off these albums, or maybe both off that Freak Out. I'm not sure. One song was called. Where's it? Help? Oh, I've got to read it now. Yeah, there it is. Help, I'm a Rock. That's so funny. I mean, obviously, this is end up as Help by the Beatles, and I'm a Rock by Simon and Garfunkel. The thing that pissed me off about Frank Zappa was he's very funny, he's brilliant, almost genius, and that will be, I'll mention that with his greatest work, which I'm going to show next. But he was obviously jealous because he couldn't write love songs or believable love songs. How would you like to have him breathing over you, grunting away while you lay there dreaming of England? Not a pleasant thought. And I'm a male. Imagine. Anyway, let's not get into that. Yeah, Help, I'm a Rock. But I actually bought that single on Verve, the Red Verve 45, red and yellow, beautiful label, for 5 cents back in the 70s. And I kept it for decades. And I never played. I thought, well, what's the point? What a stupid single. You know, it's just idiotic. Who the hell's going to buy that? And then years later, I looked on bloody eBay or one of those things, and it was going for about $1,000. And I went desperately going through. I went, oh Christ! Somehow, I don't know how it's happened. It's gone. I never get rid of my 45s. Well, it will be soon. I've got to sell them off because I'm an old pensioner and I'm broke. But I thought, oh no, I kept it for decades and now it's gone. Oh. Okay, so this is his masterwork. Absolute, no doubt about it. And I still wish I had my original black and silver Verve copy. I bought it in the probably early 70s, so it might have been I still think it was an original press that had just been sitting in a shop for a couple of years, and I managed to get it. This came out in 67, believe it or not. This actually, Lumpy Gravy actually came out at the same time. These both were recorded at roughly the same time, 1967. This is he doesn't play on it. None of the mothers play on this. This is strictly his music concrete orchestral work composed by himself and performed by classical musicians, jazz musos, whatever you could find in the studio, whoever. It's just genius. But please be careful. This is another wonderful Ryko. This is the one to get. This is a mid-90s Ryko. This is the 1968 mix. Now, I know this has been, other versions have been put out recently, which are sonically superior. Probably, I've never heard them, but I don't see the point because the new releases, the Verve, the 68 Verve release has got a shitload of tracks. And it's essential because it's got all the funny dialogue. I mean, there's surf instrumentals move in, and then it becomes a sort of a jazz music concrete, and then it moves into orchestral. Then you get people snorting like pigs inside a piano chip. It's genius. It's brilliant. This is the Resonance. The Resonance would kill to be able to make something this truly brilliant. I love this album. Lumpy Gravy. Absolutely love it. It's his masterpiece. After that, of course, my friend used to buy all these records, Hot Rats. They were good. Weasels Rip My Flesh. Great album cover. Hurricane Harris is on there, I think his name. Sugarcane Harris. Good, it's good, but I was never tempted to buy them. Number one, my friend used to buy them. Or the Grand Wazoo. I did have Burnt Weenie Sandwich. I love the album cover, but I could never get into it. I think that was the one that came out after, I think that was the one after Lumpy Gravy. It was very hard. Even I could not get into that. And then he got into his dirty old man thing, overnight sensation. And it's just like, yeah, it's sort of funny, but it's real schoolboy humour. And I'm glad he got recognition. But the thing is, to me, those four, it's a time capsule. 1323. Uru.